Greetings everyone, and Great here with another HBars 4 replay. Spawn on the top left side as a red roost, we have LoueMT. On the bottom right side as the magenta Malians, we have Yuimetal. And since we do have a resupply on the field, let's go back on out to the out of caster mode and on to see the trade bounties accumulated. Economic benefits. Of course, the Roosts do have access to their trade bounty mechanic. As they start killing off wildlife, they get a bit of extra gold, get increased food gathering rates, as well as hunting cabins gold generation. Additionally, they are wooden fortress, so allow them to get increased wood drop off by 20%. Does find these forest puppers there, so red will claim these. These forest puppers has been claimed. Two over here. One has only been claimed. Magenta will find this one. And now we do have the exotic doggos from going down. Malians. They have a lot of uniqueness to them, to say the least. They of course have access to the mining pit, which will provide some good gold passive generation as well. Additionally, they can also deploy cows into a cattle ranch to get some more food generation, or just eat the cows directly, which has the same collection rate as deer. Scouts do force back those scouts. These force weapons all go down, and they're pretty tightly clumped there, so a good placement of mill can collect them on up. Looks like red has obtained quite a bit of trade bounty from, and does find a good number of these wolves to kill off. We got the Kremlin now going on up. And we're just going back out castle mode. If you hear one more wolf spotted, that will get him up to tier 2 trade bounty. Because right now he is at 240 out of 250 for tier 2. Looks like Magenta Scout has good force back. Magenta, of course, can get an upgrade for his scouts to become warrior scouts. When it comes to unique units, the Malian loadout is incredibly unique, so it would probably be best to discuss the Rus unique units in order to see what composition you should go for. The Rus, of course, have one unique unit in this age, the Early Night. An Early Night. Same quality as Royal Knight, barring a couple less bonuses, but still a very good heavy knight. Let's go and torch down one of these housing. Malian houses do cost half the amount, provide half the population, but do still only have 50% less health rather than 100% less, or not 50% less health, it's like 33% less health. So they have still a decent amount of health for the cost. Another house has been torched, has been set ablaze. Warrior Scout, or yeah, it is now a full Warrior Scout field, which does go up to 7 damage. We've got now 2 Warrior Scouts on the field. These Scouts will do 11 damage each versus the Warrior Scouts. Warrior Scouts will do 17 damage each. They do have 110 health versus the Scouts 110, so that's still pretty similar. So I think the 3 Scouts could win versus 2 Warrior Scouts. Of course, they do have really high health regen. Now we've got mass Warrior Scout being put up by the Malians, which he could go for professional scouts and start stealing the forest puppers on the ground. The Rus players tend to make good use of their trade bounty capability to increase the food collection rate even on huntables. And it looks like he just can't get the tier 2. You now have the council going on up here. Got some militia here. I guess he's worried about the warrior scouts for harassing him. Militia have 20 more seconds before they die from dysentery. Now we've got 5 warrior scouts in the field, but do now have the professional scouts being researched. And he knows about this deer deposit here, so you can go ahead and steal 5 of the deer. The red player needs an eye for killing off a boar relatively soon, because if he kills off a boar, he will be able to get his tier 2 trade bounty. And 10%, 5 extra % food collection is very important. Let me mention just gives a little bit extra gold generation for a hunting cabin. And now there's the warrior scouts picking up the deer. You guys pick up 5 out of the 6 forest puppers there, or no, 5 out of the 7 looks like. There usually is groups of 8 deer, right? Or maybe I just miscount how many warrior scouts there. It looks like all the deer will be picked up and stolen. Not sure where the last deer may have went. Okay, there's only 7 deer. I thought they spawned in groups of 8 deer. I was just mistaken. Or maybe this map's just a little bit different. Stable going on up, as was an archery range. Of course, Magenta could steal these deer over here as well. It would be a bit dangerous. But now he will steal a good wave of deer, and his villagers will need to be tasked onto those deer immediately. Because, oh, still has one picked up there that needs to be dropped off. Deer do get collected up faster than sheep. Sheep collection rate is 0.75, same as farms, and deer collect at 0.81. It does go and pick up his own deer deposit as well, very nice. So now he does not have to venture out the map. Malian players generally, in my opinion, or based on my view experience, they generally don't deploy out additional town centers. They rely on, say, cattle farms and other things of the sort. Now you can take his free gold generation and get some cows, and then turn that into free food generation. And then eventually later on, you'll get more free gold generation, because after all, cows, what are they, 80? 90 gold. This player has spawned out a large number of spearmen. He realizes his opponent has gone for a large number of warrior scouts. You have some Donzo deployed on the field. This warrior scout knocking some slices here. Single spearman coming to their spawn. Warrior scouts, they do not get bonus damage versus range units, so archers are still a soft counter to them, as they also have no pierce armor to them as well. But still, warrior scouts will win versus archer 1v1. But it won't be a hard counter like, say, horsemen. There's a soft counter. They're now a total outpost upgraded arrow slits there. And now being upgraded fortified outpost as well. No, I don't think I've ever seen a fortified outpost for the Malians. You hardly ever see total outposts. This map is feasible for trade as well. And you can always reinforce everything with stone walls as well as palisades. One house will go down, minor loss. Except in Donzo on the field. Donzo, of course, a heavier spearman. Right now, the hardened Donzo has 100 health. The hardened spearman has 90 health. And hardened Donzo do have +1 pierce armor. Not pierce armor, hack armor. So they will beat spearman quite handily. They are, of course, slightly more expensive, costing 90 rather than 80. Now we've got a big wave of Bruce archers now being deployed on the field. He does have 2 mining pits out on the field. Donzo inside this garrison. He's not deploying anything just out just yet. He's gonna have some more Donzo and now get some Javelin Throwers. Javelin Throwers are an anti-archer unit. They have 3 inherent pierce armor, 8 inherent damage, 4 bonus damage versus range, and they attack the same speed as crossbows at 2.12. In other words, they actually have a decent archer unit, quote unquote archer range unit, versus even the knights, because they're higher base damage. Of course, they won't get any bonus damage versus them, but higher base damage can be handy. Got pierce armor not being researched by the Roost player. Warrior scouts trying to engage. The spearman does pick up one of the warrior scouts. Warrior scouts do fall back. The damage output is relatively low, but they have really high health regen. They're meant for hit and runs. I do have Castaway's Grand Fulani, however you pronounce it, Corral, which will improve the collection rate, or improve the cows just provide general 20 food per minute ticks, which does not compound with cattle ranches, which the cattle ranches do compound with the economic tax. So the more you get of that, the more food you get. We still got a good number of deer right here, so the Malian player has plenty of food to work with. Of course, he does have less villagers right now because of the town center. I wonder, did he actually steal some deer right there? These deer are along over here. Probably not. Warrior Scouts see a bit of damage there. If he gets the Veteran Warrior Scout research, Veteran Sofa research, Veteran Warrior Scouts does actually allow them to gain bonus damage versus range, so they become a counter unit versus archers and crossbows. And I think the damage is like plus 10, so good amount. We do now have the imported armor. Sofas are a good item. They are a cheaper heavy cav, but they get their armor back in the Sage with research, but they still have a little less damage than, say, Knights. Veteran advancing forward, while not realizing there's Dawn Zone on the inside of it. As you see with damage there, we've got some Veteran Archers here, as well as some Javelin Throwers. Dawn Zone do find a volley there. All posts receiving a bit of damage. Warrior Scouts moving around, no Veteran Warrior Scout being researched. He does have 3 Sofa on the field and going for 5 more on the build queue. Archers need to hit those Spearmen so the Sofas can push them a bit more effectively. Spearmen are getting hit. It's fine, the total outpost goes down. It's just there to provide a buffer, which it is doing, and well, now the Donzo now advancing forward. Donzo do advance on back. Now here comes Sofa on the field. Most of the Spearmen having blood off, so now the Donzo or the Sofas do some great damage. They have 6 Pierce armor at the moment. Archers only have 6 damage, they do 1 damage each, so Sofas right now will do incredible amounts of damage. Spearmen do get forced back there. That's just a scout. And Knights will have trouble versus the Sofas. They have just have a bit too much armor work fight against. 5 armor at the moment, 20 damage. Early Knights have 19 damage and 3 melee armor. But right now these Sofas are superior quality and cheaper than these early Knights. Of course, that's the big difference in age 2 and 3. We now have a Moss going on up, fine, collect some relics. Right now, Magenta's army is quite minimal. So if not push way forward, we got a wave of militia advancing forward. Malian archers advancing forward as well. Sofas are falling back. More and more Sofas being put on the field. He's trying to torch down this mining pit. Up here, we got the boar being claimed up. That will get him the tier 3 trade bounty. A little bit late for that. Militia have already died to dysentery. It looks like they go down to sword slices before. Oh, someone died. 2 died from a heart attack. Mining pit will be torched. They do take out the mining pit there. Minor victory. Archers face forward, so is Javelin Throwers. Sofas engaging. Looks like there's a couple of Spearmen still alive. Those Spearmen pose a so big threat to the Sofas. It looks like simply does not have enough force here. It's getting out more Sofa now. And so a handful of Spearmen. He only has 2 archers remaining. Does take out some of the early Knights there. Sofa's now engaging. More Spearmen being brought forward and more early Knights. He realizes his opponent is going for a large number of Sofas, and that's it right now. So going for more Spearmen would probably be a good idea. Most of the Spearmen are down. A couple more reinforced Spearmen push way forward. Which are getting some good hits there on the Sofas, not being hit yet. Now we got the Sofas here in good numbers, force back the Red's army. But Red has so sizable force in the field. He needs to stop producing archers. These archers are doing 1 damage each. They're not worth it against Sofas. Still needs archers of his own. nor deal with the spearmen. Right now, the Malian player has an absurd amount of food, needs more gold. He is going to set up, stop collecting that food. He has too much food stored up. Drop the berries off and start collecting that gold because he has too much food at the moment. And also lacking wood and gold. And of course, he's trying to collect the gold from that mine there, but you can always go for a different mine. Mining pick trying to be pulled out of the field once again. Right now, the Roost player does pull out another wave of militia. Of course, they will take a bit of time to get on the front line. He's actually already on the front line. And looks like just all fell over. Bouncing arrows will do some good damage. And now Red's eyeing for a battering ram. So he's eyeing for a counterattack. He doesn't really have the force for counterattack unless he gets some good kills. Got a good number of villagers in the region. No upgrades in this wooden fortress. He does have +1 pierce damage. These arrows should do 2 damage each if he gets inside the wooden fortress. Which they do. But he does actually have additional pierce armor now, so he does still have, no, he's always had 6. So that makes so those arrows do 1 damage each, not a lot. And he's not obtaining the gold there. He desperately needs gold. Sofas do cost 60 gold, so they're much heavier in food, that's of course. But right now he just doesn't really have any gold at the moment. Villagers push forward, trying to torch out some of these battering rams. He's starting to engage, but the spearmen will get some good damage there if he can actually connect. Does save that cattle ranch, which is currently on fire. He will clean up his force there with the sofas. The battering ram does destroy 1 cattle ranch. Now the deer can be tipped. Really trying to collect this gold. He has plenty of food, even enough for an age up. Just needs more sofas. Also gonna use a bit of wood as well. He just has minimal villagers collecting up wood. Find some free spearmen here. That's very good. Right now, the Rus army is down to 27. Which is still mostly composed of spearmen, a good counter unit. We've got fortified palisade walls going on up. And maybe we'll find some of these villagers. He goes up around north a bit more. Trying to ghost out some of these walls now. But it looks like the sofas should be able to break through. Yes, they do. So a good number of these villagers will start going down, which is something Red cannot afford to lose. Magenta's killed off 15, Red's killed off 7, Spearman not connecting. Sophus back on off. He does get all except for like 1 villager. Very good. Red does have textiles. Now got these sofas engaging as well. The amount of spearmen on the field, he could actually go for his own Donzo. Donzo, of course, are better than spearmen. And they'll be able to do bonus damage versus the early knights. Musavati Wars could be another possibility as well. They do beat spearmen 1v1 and they do bonus damage versus heavy. We got a big wave of militia being pulled on field. Really nice. He's trying to stream on in, trying to find some villagers. Got the Kremlin flying away. We got a handful of farms on the field already. After all, he stole a large number of deer, so he's forced to build those farms. Got those archers now firing away, get some damage. Of course, got the militia here, and now he actually has a decent force of archers to engage the spearmen as well, so it will be effective with some militia. Those sofa will go down. These villagers could get hit by those sofas, but there's too many spearmen in the region. Fortified palisade walls are going up. He's trying to save these forces. The early knight is severely wounded. Does got the villager there. Villager has gone down. And the knight goes down as well. And now the high trade house being employed on the field. And there's a position there that will provide some decent gold income, though quite a bit of the forest has been claimed, so we'll probably provide him about maybe 150 gold per minute. Malian player's not eyeing for some farms. He does go ahead and bop those cows that were let loose. Sophos will find a good number of villagers there. Archers trying to engage the spearmen. Early knights engaging the archers. The archers do have all their damage upgrades at this age, so they are in the poison arrows. So they will do 5 damage per arrow against these early knights, which is still a decent amount of damage at this point in time. These early knights will start going down. These Sophos now streaming on in, getting some villagers kills. That hack armor now being researched by the Malian player. Some of these villagers being picked on off. Got these archers and knights going down. Got these knights or Sophos engaging these villagers. Bruce players losing a large number of villagers. He has the spearmen trying to close these, hunt them down. Archer's getting some good damage there on the Malian archer. Spearman advancing forward. Does get a good stab there. High Trade House is providing 176 gold per minute. Very good. Does find some good kills there on those Malian archers. Does get out some crossbows in the field, which is exactly what he needs to get back the game. Crossbows, of course, very good versus Sophos. Does also have better spearman research as well as the regular knight research. So right now he has lost a good number of villagers. And his opponent does have a lot of income coming on in from those cattle farms, though the mining pits may have not been pulled out at all. I got the Malian Knights falling back. These Malian Knights are being pursued. The Reese player is starting to stabilize. He does have a smaller force in his opponent, but does have a bit more of a sufficient counter force. Malian player has a good number of archers in the field, so keeping his own archer production is probably a good idea. Mix in with his crossbows. Gavin now receiving a bit of fire. Sophos have mostly gone down. There's only a handful of Sophos left on the field. And up here, he is trying to gauge this area. He's going for the spring gold upgrade. He can also go for arrow slits among everything else. And now the knights are able to pursue the Sophos. Right now, at this point in time, these knights are higher quality. Though the Sophos do have more hack armor at the moment. That's health, though. So they're probably a bit comparable until Resplay gets more upgrades going. Archers now firing away against these spearmen. We got some Roost man-at-arms not being pulled on as well. That would be a good item to engage these veteran archers, as well as they would be decent with sofas. Sofas do not have the charge attack like other knights, so the man-at-arms can just engage them on equal terms, though they'll still be lower quality. Crossbows get some good hits there, so Roost's man-at-arms are good transition. The mixing spear wouldn't hurt, but the problem is going for large number of archers. Does get poison arrows research. This force has been cleaned on up, but we got a warrior monk in the field. Magenta has picked up 2 relics. One more has been picked up. Red has claimed 1. And now we have Boyar's Fortitude now being researched. Nice charging forward. Does get a good charge attack there. So goes quickly forward. Got all these things engaging. Poison arrows are okay versus heavy armor units. It's just not a good item against them. It will just do damage over time. Magneto finds a great shot there on the Magenta's Malians, who do now have a Magenta keep going on up. Sofas are holding the line. They have to hold the line so the keep can be filled. Though it looks like he will get closed in. There's some more villagers from the other side, so he looks like he will get to keep filled. Magneto finds a volley there on these villagers, gets a great hit there, and Magenta backs out of the game. This is Anagrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay.